Hey all, welcome to Parker's Reef. On today's episode, we're going to do a tour of the Monsoon Aquatics Cairns facility. Alright guys, thank you for joining me on another episode of Parker's Reef. Today is the third and final leg of my tour around Cairns, with a big shout out to the team from Reef Galleria Aquariums in Melbourne, who made it possible for me to join along on their tour, checking out some of Australia's premier coral wholesalers. Now today we're going to pop in and see Shane and the team at Monsoon Aquatics in their Cairns facility, which I will just say at this point in time, we did pop in there when their stocks were a touch low, but don't worry, there is plenty to see, and I had my work cut out for me getting the camera around to see as much as I could before the team, including Hazel from Reef Haven, Will from New Life Aquariums, and of course all of the boys from Reef Galleria Aquariums, started cherry picking things and getting them into crates before I could get my camera on them. But don't worry, I managed to get all the footage just so you guys don't miss out at all. And it does actually work out quite well that this is leg 3 and the final destination on our Cairns tour, because it's a beautiful little segue into what will be coming up in the very near future on my channel, as I'm just about to pack my bags to head back up north again, this time to Bundaberg, to go and see the flagship facility in the Monsoon Aquatics range of facilities across Australia. And I'm going to be visiting there to see some groundbreaking innovations they are doing, which will involve the future of our hobby in reef keeping in our homes. So please do stay tuned for that. I am absolutely chomping at the bit to get up there. I've been working really hard all week this week to shake this head cold, so I'm 100% fighting fit to go up there and bring you guys back some to die for footage. Now, probably enough of a preamble from me. It's time to cross to the team and go have a look and see what Cairns has at the Monsoon Aquatics facility.
Another stop in Cairns, and we're here at Monsoon Aquatics with Shane. We've lucky to have known Shane for a long time, and we got Hazel from Reef Haven here, and we're going to be cherry picking some awesome corals. So thank you to Shane and the team for all they do. They always look after us, and yeah, looking forward to it. Let's get into it.
Let's do it. So I'm not sure how obvious that was there for an intro, but the team here actually stayed back on their own personal family time to accommodate people like Ken here and share a beer with us and let us have a look through the facility and of course cherry pick out some corals. So massive thank you to Shane and all of the gang here at Monsoon Aquatics in Cairns. But let's jump into the stock. You can see a tub full of deshi in here. These ones are a little bit more of your common color varieties, but fear not, there are some more extreme ones to come. This tub on the front here is a little bit empty. There's lots more to come, I assure you that, but you can see no shortage of lobos or symphilias in here. Plenty of the maroon and green coloration there. Got this crazy big headed blasto there. That's it's difficult to explain just how big the heads of that blasto are. This Pectinia right here is something pretty special too. I'd go as far as calling that an Aussie Space Invaders, which I know is quite a fair way shy of a international Space Invaders Pectinia, but very nice combination nonetheless. Over here we've got a pretty crazy looking little bleeding apple scully there, I'm pretty sure it is. Maybe a little very small double-headed piece from what I can see. And then over on this side of the tub we've got some more interesting Pectinias. In fact, I really like a couple in there. I like that bright green center with the purple knobbles. This piece here, I'm not sure what it is, but it does intrigue me. A few little odds and ends in these front tubs here, which is interesting. They're just sort of been isolated from the rest of the systems, and I wonder if there's a reason why. We've got some Favias and things in here, some big pieces in there as well, I will say. Then plenty of Aussie war coral. Difficult to see with the flow that's in that system at the moment. I'm not sure if they're just flushing those pieces out or if they're preparing for shipping or something like that, because you can see that we are next to the bagging station there. But we'll move on into the next system, which has no shortage of pieces in it. You can see these ones are separated out by trays, and there's plenty of blasto there. We've got really nice UFO scully in there with some other scullies, plenty of fungias. Looks like we've got plenty of goni or alveopora in there, some more Pectinia. I really am enjoying seeing so many nice Pectinia out and about because it's a coral that I don't think got a lot of a love up until just a few years ago. So seeing them make a little bit of a resurgence is always pleasing to me. We have a look at this system from the other side. We might get a better view at these scollies here. There's a little fish keeping them honest in there as well. You can see the green fungi there. We've got some Echinata SBS pieces in there, which is cool to see. Got some orange fungi in there, some more blastos. You see some deshies in there, some more of your sort of more common coloured deshies there, but don't forget sometimes the common coloured pieces can make your showpiece stand out all the more. But we'll head on over to the far side and work our way from this corner back across because as you can see here, I've sniffed out some SBS colonies, and SBS colonies done in Australia are this kind of size. You're talking adult sized, or adult hand size I should say. They're big colonies, and this is a staple for us Aussie reefers to have nice big wild Aussie SBS colonies in our tank. And why wouldn't you when you've got pieces like that available for quite little money in the scheme of things in reefing. And they're just, you never know what you're going to get with Aussie wild corals. Sometimes they flourish into different colors in the aquarium. Sometimes they do great, sometimes not so much. But it's an affordable aspect of the hobby that I quite enjoy. On the flip side of that, we've got some crazy high-end recordias in here, which I would not say are on the affordable end at all, but still jaw-dropping nonetheless. And there's a great assortment in here with some really striking colors, some beautiful patterns, obviously plenty of oranges and greens. There's even a little bit of yellow in there, but obviously whatever kind of recordia, whatever color, whatever combination you're looking for, there's a pretty strong chance the team will have it here. Check out this one here with some yellows and oranges, or circling around the inner circle of that outside ring of the purple base. Beautiful piece indeed that'll no doubt fetch a pretty penny. Something similar but on the much cheaper end of the scale is these morphs in here, which I will say have rose to popularity over the last few years with things like the different bounce morphs and stuff that are getting about. But some things that have been a staple for a little while now are deshies, and the team have already started loading up some of their favourites in here. And I'd say they've picked pretty well. There's some nice pieces in here from some of your high-end ones through to some of your more staples. In this tray here, we've got some nice Torch, some nice Duncan, some nice Blastos. Looks like some Bowerbankies as well. Some of the higher-end pieces in here, beautiful speckled Desh, gorgeous gold Chalice with teal splash through it. Got some of the green star polyps I touched on. Obviously some high-end Scollies as well. And then let's see what we can find up here. Got this big sea of Echinata, which is where Will's just handpicking out some beautiful Multipora pieces. I will say this is some of the nicest selection of Multipora we saw whilst in Cairns. Really nice selection of some of the capping pieces there. Have a look at these Echinatas. They're a real nice variation on some of the colours that you can get there. I quite enjoyed looking at those, but I can see why Will is having a good look at this Monty section here, because there's a pretty cool range of Monty there, from your encrusting to your plating to your scrolling. Plenty there for everyone to have a good look at. Over into this section here, we've got some Goniopora, we've got some Alveopora, might be some leathers there as well. I think over here we've got some single heads, or at least some small combination of heads of some different hammers there. And then over here we've got plenty of Scolly and Blasto. Great assortment of Scollies here actually. It looks like you got quite a few bleeding apples. This one here has just got a different colour variation on the rest though. It's almost blue with red, which I quite like the look of. You see that big fat green one there with just a solitary red stripe through it was a pretty cool little combination. And then you've got almost the opposite of that with almost a solid red with a green splash through it. And then over here we've got some Blastos, which I've got to say, I'm always drawn to Blasto, and I think that's because I know I can't have it in my tank. That one there would be really cool, I reckon, in my system, but I'm certain my Hybrid Angel would eat them in no time flat, so maybe that's the draw card for me. Likewise, Acans are going to be a little bit of a struggle, but they are a pretty cool little coral when you see them so fat and healthy like this. One thing that I do have good luck with in my aquarium for most times, though, is Chalice. And wow, did Monsoon have a good range of Chalice here. From some of your common pieces through to some of your not so common pieces. You already saw some of the ones that the team had already handpicked out. But have a look at some of these big show pieces. big green piece over there with the toxic eyes, a watermelon piece there with yellow eyes, some beautiful marble patterns on some of these. I think there's some gold ones up at the end here. Just some very, very nice chalice indeed. A real good assortment for, look at those watermelons there, a couple of really nice golds, bright yellow eyes, big marbled pieces. Really nice chalice indeed. So I was pleased to find this section in the facility. But let's have a look at what's over here just before we jump into the fish and have a look at the infrastructure behind the system, because there's some pretty nice deshi in here, I've got to say. Have a look at some of these ones. The guy like that one there, which is like a very nice, almost a square shape in that it's straight up and down, compared to this guy, which is just a solid, big, fluffy donut. Some of those speckled ones that we saw the team had already handpicked out. Then we come across over to this side to some of the, I'll say the more common colour variants or less extreme colour variants. But like I touched on earlier, sometimes it is important to have the piece that just makes your showpiece look even better. If you surround your showpieces with other showpieces, the diamonds don't shine quite as brightly. So let's not forget some of our supporting crew in the corals, and Deshis can do a good job at really making the showpiece Deshi look something even more fantastic. And over in this section is, speaking of the unsung hero coral, have a look at the green star polyps, something you don't see in the wholesaler facilities all that often, but it is something that we sell or get requested from the hobbyists at my local fish store very, very frequently. So cool to see green star polyps there, and a good assortment of soft corals as well. Now, I did promise we'd have a look at the fish side of the facility, which, to be fair, did not have a lot of fish in at the moment, but we'll have a quick look for the main reason of I just like to have a look at the infrastructure and how the plumbing and the filtration works in these setups. And you can see here a huge setup here to supply a constant supply of new salt water to these fish, and then that overflows back into the sump. And we'll have a look at the filtration of how that works soon, because I believe the filtration for the whole facility appears to happen over on this side of the building, which is pretty cool to see. In these fish holding systems, you can see we've got some Valentina puffers, some wrasse, we've got some bicolor angels. Let's see what else we can find. Looks like some bristle-tooth triggers there. Looks like in the containers here, just getting acclimated into the tanks, is some beautiful scorpion fish here. Look how grumpy that guy looks there. There's a pair of them in there. Well, there's two, I should say. Crazy, crazy little dudes there. Pretty cool to see. And like I said, they don't have a huge amount of fish in at the moment, but Monsoon Aquatics are actually attributed to discovering a couple of wrasse in this hobby. So always good to see what fish they do have in the facility. But I mostly wanted to jump over so we can have a look at the sumps, and we'll get to those in just 2 seconds. We'll have a look what fish are in this second row here. See some lawnmower blennies there. Down here we've got some bicolor angels. Got another coral beauty there, very bright, colourful coral beauty. We've got some more wrasse in here. I'm not quite sure what that red wrasse is. He's pretty cool. In fact, a good assortment of wrasse in there. Fish that I don't know much about, so always cool to see wrasse. They intrigue me. Let's have a look at the filtration side of things here. Big RK2 skimmer. This big, tall column here with a air pump. I'm not 100% certain what that is. I am intrigued. You can see the big air pump there feeding it, so curious to see what that is. Over here we've got another RK2 system skimmer. This one looks like it has a automatic wash on it, which I was hoping that that'd just kick into gear while I was there. A couple of big pumps feeding that skimmer there. Pretty cool to see a skimmer that absolutely is above my height, and I'm comfortably standing at 6 foot tall. Have a look at the drain pipes into this this sump here. You can see a probe just floating on a bit of polystyrene in there. These tubs with the mesh over the top, I am 99% certain they've got K1 media in there, so they've got a huge amount of water going into those, and then some air lines as well, just to keep that media aerated. Have a look at this big UV here, big UV with a flow meter on it, so you can actually see we're getting 4.85 meters cubed an hour through there, and it has a flow total on it. So Interesting to see the UV side of things there. You can see some of the overflows into this sump system here. You got your basic sort of filter floss there, just catching some sediment from the invert system there. And one more piece I wanted to show you just before we wrap things up is this Pure O3, their ozone generator and controller. And you can see the ORP in the system is currently at 228 millivolts, I believe that's measured in. So a quick little behind the scenes tour of some of the industrial spec filtration at a facility like this, which a big shout out to Monsoon Aquatics for allowing me to go behind the scenes and get this footage for you. All right, guys, there you have it. That is the wrap up of my tour of Cairns, checking out all of the best coral wholesalers around Australia. I'm sure the opportunity will come up to check out plenty more coral wholesalers from other corners of this incredible continent that we call Australia. And like I touched on before, I am just about to pack my bags and head up north again to Bundaberg this time to check out some innovative work being done in this hobby. And I just cannot wait to get there. So if you are yet to subscribe to the channel, now would be the time to do so, just to make sure you do not miss out on those future videos. Hit that button in the bottom corner there. It takes 2 seconds of your time, costs absolutely no money whatsoever. And of course, if you've got any questions, comments, feedback, anything at all, feel free to pop it in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If not, no big deal. I don't mind, guys. Anyway, I'll leave you at that. Till next time, stay safe, keep reefing. Cheers, bye.